Which three Rocket League players are you picking to survive the end of the world?
Like rlcs, Hoxer, those two would probably be in there. I
Oh,
think
good luck.
they both work out. We got a little bit of muscle on there at least. I don't think I'm making it.
Hey guys, this is episode 34. Ignore what I'm going to say after this. This is episode 34 of the Who Is series with Comm. And this is day 26 of uploading a full-length YouTube video every single day for 100 days. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support so far. Please like the video. Please follow me on Twitch and please enjoy. I will see you on the other side. Hi.
Hello there.
Hi. Guys, welcome back to Who Is 35. I think this is 35. This is Comm. And he's never watched one of these, shockingly. And so, yeah, we're just gonna go into some rapid fire questions and get all comfortable, and then we're just gonna talk. We talk about stuff that isn't Rocket League first at all, so people get to know you on a different realm, and then obviously we kind of get into gaming and esports and Rocket League and stuff like that.
Got it. Sounds good to me.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, call or text?
Text probably.
Text person.
I
Like,
don't
do
know.
you
I like
prefer calls or texts?
for communicating information, text. But like if I want to hang out with somebody or actually
call.
catch up. But if
All right.
it's
Breakfast or dinner?
breakfast
Or lunch.
I'm a big breakfast person.
Okay.
I love breakfast food in particular.
Ooh. What's your favorite breakfast food?
If I had to pick any one breakfast, I just love scrambles. So when you just have eggs, hash browns, bacon, gravy, everything just thrown together. That's my jam.
Scrambles are when skillets are
yeah, skillets.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. Okay, favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm a big foodie, so I love Thanksgiving food, love Christmas food. My family always makes a lot.
Well, that's what I always say to people because I don't care about Thanksgiving that much as what it is.
Yeah.
Because I see family enough, so it's not the only time a year I get to see family or something. But I'm always Thanksgiving because I love cooking.
Yeah.
I love cooking and I love food, and it's my favorite foods: mashed potatoes, gravy,
Oh yeah.
stuffing. It's the best foods of all time. So yeah, and then Christmas is a little bit more special. So
Yeah.
But yes, exact same answer. Best movie of all time.
This is hard. I don't know if I have one off the top of my head. Actually, probably Airplane is my favorite.
The old.
Yeah.
Oh,
the comedy
nice.
movie.
My dad would love you. Oh man, I don't think I've seen that movie since I was a kid. Are you the type of person to admit defeat easily or argue your point?
I definitely argue. I think I have strong opinions. I trust myself on what I believe, and I'm not opposed to changing my mind, but I don't think you can reach a mutual conclusion without having that debate and without arguing.
Yeah. I agree. I know a lot of people who are you just have... Oh, okay. I was going to be careful with what I was about to say. Because I was a lot of people are you just got to be able to admit when you're wrong. And it's one of those things which, yes, I think is important. I think it's very important to admit when you're wrong. But like you said, I don't necessarily... if I am confident enough to say something confidently, I do not think that I am necessarily wrong. So I'm not just going to immediately back off of it.
Yeah, nobody thinks they're wrong. So
Yeah.
you have to present people with facts and with information through, some kind of debate in order to change their mind. I'll if I'm proven wrong, then I'll change my mind, but I need to see the proof.
Yeah, I think I'd actually be more concerned if somebody said something very factually to me and I was no, you're wrong. And they were okay,
Yeah.
you're right. It's oh, so you were just talking out of your ass. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I actually wasn't going to ask you this one because I asked it to the last pro I interviewed, but you're actually a foodie. So I think you'll actually have a good answer. What is your favorite thing to cook if you cook? And then if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Okay, the first
the food
question's
question.
easier for me. Oh, I do too, yeah. I love cooking pasta, so I've got 8 or 9, maybe more pasta dishes that I know how to make. That's usually my go-to if I'm like cooking to impress somebody. But one thing I've been craving recently, and I'll probably make, is like a vichyssoise, the like potato leek soup.
Oh,
I've made that a few times, and I've been craving that recently, so I might make that soon.
that sounds amazing. But okay,
Uh,
you can only eat one thing for the rest of your life, and I'll expand it at least for you. It could be a meal. I usually say like one food,
yeah.
but it could be a meal. But it's the only thing.
If it's the only thing you can eat, I feel like, you have to you have to have everything in the dish, right? You got to have your salty, your sweet, your umami. You got to have everything in there. So, God, it's a hard question. Probably have to be like, I don't know, some variation of maybe like fried rice or something like that. Or I'm a big fan of like chicken katsu, and
Yeah,
then something on the side to get some kind of vegetables in.
yeah. See, I'm realizing now it is much easier when I tell people that they can have a meal
Yeah.
instead of one thing. Although I forgot who, I think it was Mizu when I was like, you can only pick one food, and he was like eggs, and I was like, oh, that's actually a really good answer. 'Cause
Yeah,
you can
I
make
considered eggs,
a
but
bunch of different ways.
I eat eggs every day for breakfast, and if I was
Mhm.
I would get so sick of them if I had it for lunch and dinner too.
Ugh. Yeah, you'd have to start like just having like one giant meal a day. Okay, what is one non-gaming skill? So like if you could master something, you could wake up tomorrow and you were like the best in the world at something else that wasn't gaming related, and chess, not chess either, because I consider that a form of gaming.
Yeah.
So non-gaming completely. You wake up tomorrow and you have mastered one skill.
I wanna learn how to speak more languages. That's something that when all is said and done in Rocket League, if I do end up doing like going to college, I do want to major, or I want to minor rather, in some other language,
Hmm.
whether it be like Italian and Russian are probably the two I'm looking at the most right now.
Yeah.
But I think if I could wake up and know how to speak a variety of languages, I think that'd be really cool.
I think it is the most useful skill in the world. I think it
Yeah.
is the most useful skill in the world, and I wish I'd had more options when I was in school, or like that it was taken more seriously.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love it because getting to travel to play Rocket League. That's one thing I've noticed is I love connecting with people of other cultures, and even if you don't speak their language, if you just I'm big into geography for that reason too. Even if you just like I study countries, capitals, stuff like that, and if I can meet somebody and tell them that I know a little bit about their culture, or a little bit about like what they come from, it usually you can form like a connection with people really quickly, and people really
Yeah.
appreciate that you have taken the time to learn stuff about them.
Yeah, and you get to expand yourself as a person and like your worldview and your interests and like I really love movies. And one of my favorite lines, and I don't want to quote him incorrectly, but it was after it was at the movie awards when he was like, the world is so much larger for you. The world of entertainment is so much larger for you if you can get past the 2-inch subtitles at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just like there's just so many things that when you start introducing yourself to other cultures, like I feel like it makes you a better person.
yeah, I agree.
Like in all forms, like expanding your palette, expanding your interests, learning about other things, learning about different points of view. All right, what is I don't know if you have one, not everyone has one, but if you did, what is the funniest lie you believed as a kid?
It's a difficult one to come up with off the top of my head.
Oh, I slowly start getting them like
Okay.
longer and more thought provoking, and then we just talk.
I don't know. I don't think that there's nothing really coming. That's more of a question probably to ask my mom.
Fair.
She'd know better than me.
Okay, fair. You are trapped in some sort of apocalypse movie, zombie, vampire, whatever it is, and you have to assemble a team to survive. You have to survive this movie. Which 3 Rocket League players are you picking to survive the end of the world?
3 Rocket League players I get to pick. Man, I don't think I'm making it.
Well, you still have to try for the plot.
Okay, okay. Man, that's a hard one. I feel like I would just go with like my friends, the people I know. I feel like Reddles, Hoxer, those two would probably be in there. I
Oh,
think
good luck.
they both work out. We got a little bit of muscle on there at least. They're reasonably smart. I feel like as long as we're having fun, that's what matters at the end of the day.
As long as you're having
And
fun
then
as the
who would
doors
be
break down.
our third? Throw Parth in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with good luck.
Yeah. No.
Good luck at the end of the world.
I don't think there is a right
Which one of them is
answer
getting
there.
eaten first?
Hopefully not me. Out of those three, I mean Parth probably. Sorry, Rip Bozo.
Your
but
last pick, and it's just like, well, goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlucky.
All right. I know that you are obviously into Rocket League, and I know that you're also into chess. I don't know much more about you outside of that. Are you into sports?
I loosely follow. I played soccer like every other Rocket League pro, basically. For 10 years from when I was like 3 until I was 13 or something like that. Then I quit to play Rocket League. I loosely
that is a
follow,
trend.
Yeah. I loosely follow like the NBA, a little bit of college football, but that's about it.
All right. If you could trade lives with any athlete for 24 hours, who would it be?
It'd be the most fun. Man. I follow the NBA most. If I had to pick like an NBA player that I would trade with, it's really not hard to go wrong here. But probably Luca.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be fun. I'd like to step in his shoes for 24 hours.
Before he left Dallas.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
sorry.
kind of tragic.
Oh yeah. No, I was still in Dallas when it happened. It was awful. No, see, I don't know. So many people answer this question, and then like I feel like my go-to no matter what, and it's not like he's my favorite player by any means, but I feel like my go-to no matter what's like Shaq, because I'm just like the man's living his life. He's not just you actually know what he's doing. He's in like every interview, every sports, every ridiculous thing,
Yeah.
running around doing all these things. He's goofy. He's fun. I think that is somebody whose life I would love to just be in for like 24 hours, just vibing.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
All right. You could live in any movie universe. And then this is kind of the end of our not gaming questions.
Got it. Any movie universe. Man, an airplane, that'd be a fun universe to live in.
There.
Yeah, I think I'll just go with that, actually.
All right. Do you have a weird game day superstition or anything that you have to do before a big match?
There's a couple things, probably. I know one thing that I hear, and it's a common thing, is that especially like on game days, like if I feel like I have to pee in the middle of a match, I won't get up and go pee because it like throws you off so much when you go and you come back, and it's like your aerodynamics or something's off, your car feels weird. That's one thing for
I'd
sure.
never heard this. I had never heard this until a couple weeks ago. I played in Musty's like Quad Cup. And I was playing with Moxie and Coconut and Asphera, and they all said the same thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
They were like, hold your pee. You do not go pee. And I was like, what?
No, it's a completely real thing. I had to yesterday before one of our matches in quals, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be so bad when I get back.
Oh no. All right. Well, you said you had a few more. Do you have any other ones besides the pee buff?
I don't know if there's weird. I think I like to these days. I try to be more of like an adult, as opposed to when I was like a 17-year-old pro. So I try to always like get out, get sunlight, get a walk in, like do stuff outside of Rocket League. So I try to like do any chores I need to do around my apartment, anything like that, and I find that it just clears my mind to actually be able to focus on the game exclusively.
Yeah. The only other pro I've talked with personally that gave me a similar answer, coach, but Sathiu. He said like his big thing that helps with his mental is that when there's not Rocket League, he's not Rocket League. He's like, I'm going out, I'm going outside, I'm being in the sunshine or going out with friends or doing things. And he's like, a lot of people want to stay in and they're like, I have to hyper focus, and he was like, what helps my mental is to not hyper focus, hyper fixate on it.
That's been the weirdest like transition for me, going from again being like a kid living with my parents playing and like to going and actually being an adult and having to like do my own laundry and make my own food and go to the grocery store and just do everything that it comes along with adult life. I've found that yeah, it's very different. I think that might be part of the reason why a lot of esports is skewed so young is because it's really hard to just, especially in Rocket League, it's really hard to take care of all those things while competing. And I find that if I personally don't take care of those things outside of Rocket League, it really negatively affects how I play in
Yeah.
Rocket League.
That's fair. You actually helped segue into one of my other questions because you mentioned your parents. And so I've had the pleasure and
This could be
benefit
going
of
anywhere.
This could be.
This could be going absolutely
Oh
anywhere.
my god. No, I've had the pleasure of meeting your parents so many times. Your parents are, up there with the parents that people know when they go to LANs. They go to, the after parties and everything, and it's like it's Comm mom and it's Comm dad, and it's so this one's a safe one.
Okay.
Don't worry, this one is safe. Because yeah, this could go anywhere. What's it? It has to be wonderful to be able to have parents who are just supportive of what you do, and they're traveling to the lands that you go to. They are involved. They're involved, on social media. They're involved there. They're active. They're happy. They're rooting for you. That has to be. How did that Was it always like that with your parents? I was like, there's a question here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. It's just a lot of people talk about how they really have to sell it to their parents. You know what I mean? Or their parents aren't as interested or aren't as into it. How was it with your parents? Because they seem so supportive now.
Yeah. I mean, my parents, they're great. Like you said, they're incredibly supportive. I think starting off, it was basically growing up, their thing was do well in school and you can do whatever you want in your free time. So as long as I had straight A's, I could play, as much Rocket League as I wanted. And then I ended up getting pretty good. And then I started winning a little bit of money from small tournaments and Johnny Boy show matches. And then it's funny, actually, I had a PayPal account, but I got locked out of it because you have to be 18 to have one. And I was 15 getting prize money. So I had to ask my mom. I'm like, hey mom, can I have these guys send PayPal money to you? That's how she figured out that I was making money from a video game. And then when I was 15, I woke her up in the middle of the night after we won the qualifier for WGN back then, and it's like, hey mom, we got to go to Toronto in a month. I'm playing in a tournament for my video game up there. But she was super supportive. They always have been. They trusted me. Again, as long as I did well in school, they would allow me to pursue whatever I wanted. It is still, kind of a foreign thing just to their generation. I mean, it's foreign to everybody outside of, our generation that lives online and sees esports as an actual thing. So I had to basically explain to them, look, there's a lot of money that can be made. Come to an event, mom, follow, meet some other people. I think a big thing for them was meeting, Rizzo's parents and meeting all the other parents that are heavily involved, helped convince them that it's something that other kids are pursuing. And then as for the traveling, that's something that's actually more recent. My dad, I think he went to the first Fort Worth Worlds. That was his first ever LAN, I think, that he went to, and
He also went to the second one.
yes, he did. My mom only went to a couple of them up until that point, but after I won Gamers 8, they both decided that they weren't going to miss any more events because they felt bummed out that the one that I won, neither of them was there for. So now,
To be fair, that one is a lot further.
true,
That one's
but
a
even
lot
then,
further away.
they had they'd never been to Europe, so they didn't go when I went to London or when I went to Rotterdam. So their first time in Europe was following me to this most recent London, and then they went to Copenhagen, or whichever one of those was first. I think London was first.
I think so.
And yeah, since then they've both said that they're never going to miss another event, no matter what. They're following me to any of those, just in case I win it again.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I obviously that, but I mean, it's genuinely amazing, and it's genuinely incredible to see them be like, "Hey, I'm going to be there," and it's going to be wonderful. This is not a question, and the part of this could go anywhere. So Nito and I always throw as of the last 3 lands, we throw the after party as long as it's NA. And we were flipping through the photos of the second Fort Worth Worlds, and my favorite photo from the whole night, because we had a photographer, was your parents. Was your parents dancing, and the other parents in the background, and you see other people in the background, but there was just so much fun, and it was just good energy, and it's super nice to be able to see that at lands is not only just being there in the crowd supporting their kid, you know what I mean, but like actually being like, we're gonna come to the after party, we want to be there, we want to be involved with the other parents, we want to be actively involved. It's like PTO parents on crack, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they live for it. They love going to the events. They love meeting everybody. And as you know, they're, I mean, super down to earth. They'll talk to anybody about everything.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
So there's like a group. I'm not gonna list them because if I forget anybody, I'll like feel bad, and it'll be like, oh well, I forgot. But there's just there's a large group of Rocket League parents of the pro players who I love so much. Okay, if esports teams had like walkout songs like the WWE had, what would yours be? Like literally onto stage, you each walk out.
You know, this is funny. I don't remember what my answer was, but I think we used to joke about this on V1. We actually talked about this, and I can't remember what I said my answer would have been back then. I don't know, some kind of classic rock. I feel like it wouldn't be anything. I don't think from any of the recent years. Maybe Thunderstruck. I feel like that would be a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be sick. You'd have to be the first one to claim it. I feel like a lot of
it'd be
people would want to
popular.
claim that.
Yeah.
And so that would be yours. I think I might know the answer to this, but I might be completely wrong. What is the favorite org you've ever played under?
I mean, it's V1.
Yeah. I was like, I think I know this, but I don't want to be like, hey, V1 was the best org ever.
Yeah, no, I've played for two orgs. I played for V1, I played for OG. OG was great. Don't have a single complaint about them, but just I was with V1 for a longer time, and I can't really complain about them. All the people that worked there were great. They paid for my apartment to move up to Minnesota up there. I had a personal trainer with them. I had free lunch. I had a sports psychologist. It was everything you could possibly ask for, and everything was, since they came from the sports world, being owned by the Minnesota Vikings, it was treated super professionally, and it was treated as if you were, a professional sports player. Can't say anything bad about them.
The scene is lesser without them.
Oh, 100%.
V1 was incredible. They kind of, I think they, and obviously, you know that more than anybody. But yeah, no, it was incredible what they did for the, the watch parties. They really helped kind of pave the way, for orgs to be so actively involved, in like lands and things like that. So yeah, and you were a big part of that. I wanted to ask about this. I think one of the biggest things that was so interesting watching you with V1, is you are a very, in my opinion, I'm not in scrims and I'm not in comms, but in my opinion, and what I think is something a lot of people consider, you are like a very professional, you're very well spoken, you're very, you're educated, all of this. The shit talking with V1 was like the best thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it's very, very polarizing. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but
yeah, I think it was the best thing I've ever seen. Like, did you just like wake up one day, or were you just, was it the confidence fueling through you? I don't know. You embodied that, and then I get into a call with you right now, and you're just like so, calm and like professional and things like that. You really embodied that toxic shit talker.
Yeah.
On V1.
For me, it was always, at the end of the day, I'm a competitor, so I want to win. And I felt that, especially being the LAN, or at my first LAN, it was, it started with the studio in LA. It was, you're sat just across from the other team. There's no, crowd or anything like that. And it's very, personal there, but also at the same time, I thought that one, it can give you an edge. It's used, people trash talk in professional sports like all the time. It's just something that you use to try to get a mental edge over your opponent. It's just another tool that any competitor can have in their arsenal. And then really the primary reason why I started doing it is because that was Beast Mode's first ever LAN, and he was 16 at the time, I think.
Baby. Yeah,
and I figured, like, he's cracked out of his mind. Like, if he just shows up, we're gonna win every match in front of us. So I wanted to make sure that all the attention was on me, and he felt, as at ease as possible. And if everybody's talking about me, everybody's, mad at me, everybody's all eyes are on me, then that just gives him an opportunity to just go and play as if, nobody's watching him. And he went on to do that, and he played incredible that event.
Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, that's awesome to see like that kind of point of view of it too. Is you were just like, hey, if they focus on me, and man, you made it entertaining. You made it an entertaining way to focus on you. This might be a bit of an unfair question, but if there's one player, not one team, not one org, if there's one singular player you could play with again, who would it be?
It's beast mode always. I
Yeah.
mean, he's like, I don't know how to put it into words. I'm still great friends with him. Like, I always root for him. He's my favorite player just because not only is he an incredible player, but he's just a great guy. Absolutely super humble kid. Like, anytime, being teamed with him for 2 years, even if I can't hit the ball nearly as well as he can, anything I said, he would listen to, he would take to heart, he would, I would be able to criticize him freely. And he was always super humble. He's always ready to learn, and he's remained that way the entire time. I think that's part of why he's gone on to have so much success, is he's got a good head on his shoulders. And I love beast mode.
That's awesome. I don't think I've asked anybody this one. So when you started, because I am going to ask you a question that I do ask every single pro. But before I get there, when you got into Rocket League, like competitively, when you knew you were ready to go pro and things like that, or start trying out, who were the pros that inspired you? Who were the pros that you enjoyed watching, your favorite at that time?
So that's a good question. So initially, I watched Squishy whenever I was like, I'd watch his like Road to Grand Champ back like when I was nowhere near being a pro. I was probably like Diamond back then. This is 7 years ago, maybe I was watching that. But really coming up, it's funny. I got to team with Torment, and he was one of my biggest idols coming up because I came up, I was a mechy young ones player, like every kid is when they come up.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of respect watching Torment, and I like wanted to learn how to get better at threes. So I, studied his replays. Like I would download Torment replays, I'd watch them. I would focus on, how he rotates, how he grabs pads, plays defense, everything like that. And I learned a lot from him coming up. And then of course I went on to go and team with him, which was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am going to step into the question I ask every pro player when I do this. You talked about like when you got your parents involved, and you've talked about who you're into. What got you into Rocket League? And I'm already going to two-part this, so it can just be kind of one. What got you into Rocket League? And at what point did you start to realize you were better than the average player?
Yeah, so I'd say there's probably two-ish answers for how I got into Rocket League. Well, I guess three if you count. Obviously, I played soccer, so just being a gamer that played soccer, that kind of played into it. But
You could have chose FIFA.
True.
So many people are like, I went pro in Rocket League, and I'm like, you could have just stuck with FIFA.
I just remember I got the season 1 like grand finals of my recommended on YouTube at some point, I think, of Flipside and I by Power, and I watched that when I was like way younger. That, and then I saw, if you know Northern Lion, he used to play Rocket League like 8 or 9 years ago, and I watched him, and I remember he had like a tournament of shame, I think is what they called it, that he did back then with his friends, and I watched that, and that was like, I was like, oh, I really want to buy this game after I watched that. So I got the game on Xbox, played it there for a year and a half, maybe something like that. I think I was, about Diamond probably. I think it was like Rising Star back when that was the ranks back then. And then I got it on PC, and I went from being Diamond to Grand Champ in the span of about 2 months, I think. From there, I've always been like especially as it pertains to video games, like I'm a super quick learner. So any video game that I play, like I just pick it up really quick, and I can master it really quick. So like CS, I got really good at CS like really quickly. So
there's a pipeline, and I filmed so many of these this week, and so there's a pipeline that I'm gonna have to do some kind of video on, of people being like, yeah, I played soccer, I got into Rocket League, and at the same time got really good at CSGO.
That came later. So I started playing CS.
Everyone, yes, there is a pipeline.
Oh, yeah. I did. I got good at CS after I went pro, I think, in Rocket League. But yeah, no, a lot of Rocket League players do play CS. I think I'm one of the better ones. I think Squishy's good. Gimmick's pretty good. There's some others that are up there, but I would say I'm probably at least like top 3 CS players out of Rocket League players.
Where would you rank yourself in chess players?
Out of Rocket League players, I mean, rating wise, I'm number 1.
There's a few of you because Nathan Shock.
Shock.
You.
I don't know how much he has progressed over the past couple of years, but I've gained a few hundred rating points since we were around the same. And then Speed is up there as well. I don't remember exactly. Speed is pretty close in peak rating to me, but for me, it's how much I focus on it. So when I like took a break from when I took the second split of the last season off, I started playing a lot more chess just to fill my free time, and I went from being around 2,000, 2,100 rated for a couple of years to hitting nearly 2,400 in the span of like a month and a half of playing. So I think if I really sat down and dedicated myself to it, I could get a lot better.
I was gonna say, do you think, because I don't know, because my extent of chess is Nathan, because he's my brother-in-law, and so it is like my extent of like watching somebody be really good at chess that isn't on Twitch or something like that is usually through Shock, and so it's one of those things. Do you think that because like you said, you learned so quickly? Do you think that's something like if Rocket League ceased to exist, do you think you'd be like, okay, I want to compete competitively in chess?
I've thought about it. The issue with that is you really just, unless you're like a top 20 player in the world in chess, which I've missed that boat. Like, I had to start playing when I was much younger and I had to pursue it. Yeah, pretty much. You really can't make a living off of it without doing coaching or streaming or something
Yeah.
So probably not, but it's something I would probably do more of if I had more free time. I might pursue trying to get a title just to have one, and maybe I would look at streaming chess. It's something I've considered doing already, but it probably wouldn't be my first choice of a career.
What would your first choice of a career be?
It's a hard one. I'd probably not pro in another game. I think again I've kind of missed the boat.
Oh no! So I meant okay.
Outside of gaming.
I'll make that easier. Just outside of gaming.
Yeah.
This just stops and you're just like, okay, I'm ready to do something else.
Yeah, I haven't really locked in on any one thing. I was always really good at like math and stuff growing up, so I always said I would be like a actuary or statistician or something like that along those lines, where I would get to work with numbers. But as of late, my plans kind of are like once I'm done competing, maybe CRL. I think I'd be a really good coach in Rocket League, so I would probably do that for a bit. And then I love to talk about the game, so I've considered casting once all is said and done, doing something on the desk. I think that would be cool to pursue. Outside of that, yeah, it would be just probably going to college. Not 100% sure what yet. Like I said, I know I'd want to learn another language. I'd want to minor and something like that, and then probably something in the math field, but not 100% certain on that.
I will say that I think it's a benefit. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I think there was originally some discourse online where people were like, oh, it sucks. Seeing all these pros now go to, into CRL, and all of this, because once upon a time you'd go to CRL and then you'd want to go pro. But I think it's genius, and I think it's a no-brainer. And I think it's a benefit that you guys have is that you get to compete at a very young age. And when you are done competing, because that is kind of a much younger age, that you have an opportunity to take the talents that you learned before school and get an education and potentially have that education paid for because of what you did. I think it's a no-brainer. I genuinely think any player who wants to go to school afterwards should go for CRL, should get help with getting their education funded. You know what I mean? I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's also not like we're NBA players that can play for a year in the NBA and have enough money to be set for life.
Yeah.
It's not like, they're going to college.
You didn't just retire on I mean, I don't know. But you didn't just retire on $50 million, or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And now you shouldn't go out and make money doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think there should be an issue with people getting scholarships for something they're good at.
No. Not at all.
Because that's kind of the point of the scholarship.
Yeah. I asked that question already. I literally looked right down and I was like, wait a second. Is there anything you'd change about your Rocket League career or your path or anything on the way to where you are right now?
I've thought about it a little bit. I try not to, live with any regrets. I think I've made a couple decisions, like roster wise, I wasn't happy about. I think I've made some decisions to focus energy in my life towards other things besides Rocket League that I regret doing, and I wish, I had instead, put in a few more hours into Rocket League, especially when I was younger. I didn't play nearly as much. I mean, I coasted. I was good, but I played far less than other pros. Even now, I think I just hit 11,000 hours, and other pros from my era are probably closer to 15,000. And I wish maybe I had played a little more then, and I had put in a little bit more effort in that way. But at the same time, it's in the past, so I try not to think too much about it.
Yeah. Then we'll flip that. What do you think is the accomplishment you're most proud of in your Rocket League career?
It's a good question. I mean, Gamers 8 was impressive. I'm happy we won it, but it wouldn't probably be the one that I'm most proud of, especially considering I didn't play most of the games. Um, Probably, I mean, getting top 3 in London. That one always hurts because I feel like we really should have won that event. We ended up losing in uppers to Falcons in Game 7. We blew a lead in Game 7. And then dropped down to lowers and lost because we were just tilted out of our minds. I'm still proud that we got a top 3
like
there.
A lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does. It was, I mean, almost 4 years probably, about 3 to 4. Asides from that, I'm proud to have made every land with OG, despite the fact that we flopped at the lands. I think that was a good experience, considering they dropped the number of land spots down to 4, and we were super consistent throughout the season. What I'm looking forward to now the most, and what probably will be, what makes me most proud, is just getting to more lands now in the future. If I'm able to, make and actually compete still at the highest level, despite the fact that, I took a split off and I played 3 events last season, including LCQ. So I played 2 regionals and LCQ for the entirety of last year. That was all I did. I think that would probably be what makes me the most proud going forward.
Do you think it helped you? You're one of the people who I think has done very well at going, hey, I am ready to take some time off. And then you came back. Like you actually came back. It wasn't like a later, I'm taking time off and I'm retiring.
Yeah, no, I think the most important thing for me was, again, just figuring out how to do it as an adult. I've lived on my own since I was 18, but even then when I was like with V1, I was at V1 HQ, so I was living across the street. I had, the organization there supporting me. Everything was still taken care of for me. Like it was like training wheels for actually being an adult. But I think that was the most important thing for me in this recent break, is figuring out how to do everything else in my life, stay on top of going to the gym, and taking care of myself before putting Rocket League first, as opposed to just, rolling out of bed, playing 12 hours, rolling back into bed, going to sleep. I think that was why I needed a break, is just to figure out how to compete as a new person.
Well, I'm glad that it helped. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad it wasn't like I'm taking time off and then I have decided to end my time with Rocket League. How do you see the future of the game?
I don't know. Genuinely no idea. Because
most honest answer I've heard from anybody.
Rocket League 2 is coming out in a year, and then that was like 5 years ago or something like that. And then it's like, we never know if there's a new game coming out. We never know if we're becoming part of Fortnite. Never know if we're going to have orgs or we're going to not have orgs. I have no clue. I just want to make sure that I'm in good shape if, the trend seems positive, if we seem to start taking off again. I'm just trying to do what I can to be prepared for that.
Yeah. I think that's what not the same thing. I'm not on the esports side, but like the content side, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like when you do this full time and you're like, oh, is it going to get really, really good again? And now I need to be, you're the first person who I think accentuated well that you want to be ready for if the game does really well. again. I feel like everybody's like, well, I need to be prepared for if the game dies tomorrow. And like, here's a backup plan for that. And like, what am I doing with my content? I mean, I asked that question. I'm like, hey, if Rocket League ceased to exist, it's not in a depressing way. It's just like a fun question. But like, you're the first person who I've seen just naturally go, hey, I want to be prepared for if suddenly everything is going great again, so that I'm at my best to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think I wanna have a positive outlook. I mean, yeah, if the game ceases to exist or something goes very poorly, then it's out of my control. I mean, then I have to do something else. My fate has been decided then. But if I don't put in the effort to make sure I'm at the top of my game, if I'm slacking off, if I'm being lazy and not in a form to compete, if the professional scene seems promising and it does take off, then that way I have failed. So I can really only control that. I can't control, if it goes wrong.
Yeah. You've talked a lot during this whole thing about, trying to like learn how to be an adult and do this all on your own and like the training wheels and everything. And I think you've done it really well. The way you communicate about things is very mature. And it's very wonderful to see. And like I said, it's funny, like seeing that side of you that was like, so like shit talky, game talky, you know what I mean? Then seeing the side who, is just a pro player, and then see you be so professional and like well spoken. And it really is wonderful. I have kept you for a long time, but I do want to ask one more question that I've asked a few times, but I love asking them from pro players because people, if they've tuned in till the end, it's a nice little treat for them. But if you had one advice for players wanting to go pro now, it's a very different world than it used to be. If you had a piece of advice for players wanting to go pro now, what would it be?
I think it kind of coincides with what I've been saying this entire time. If you want to go pro, don't make it everything. Very few players can just sit down and just play and play and play and play and make it. Take care of yourself. Treat your mind well. Do things that you enjoy outside of Rocket League. Learn more about yourself and do things that make you happy. And if you're happy, you're going to play better. So that's one thing for me. Like, I was very overweight like when I first was a pro, and I think credit to V1. I got a personal trainer and I got on top of it. I wish, when I was younger, that's something that I had taken care of because I love working out. I enjoy it, and then there's obviously the psychological benefits from it. I think just again focus on everything that's not Rocket League. Make yourself happy, and you're gonna see results. Especially if you're at a standstill. If you're a bubble player that just can't break into the next level, look at what is in Rocket League and solve that first.
And I think that's really good advice. And like I said, it's a little different. I feel like a lot of people are like, grind this, do this. Taking care of your mental is huge, and it's been wonderful seeing you do it. It's been wonderful seeing your fitness journey. It's been wonderful seeing your career, and everything. And it's been wonderful talking to you. So thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. This is when I'll give you the time. If there's anything else you want to say at all, the floor is yours. And otherwise, just let people know, where to follow you. Let people know where to find you, talk about the split, talk about everything upcoming, and then yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure chatting with you as well. I've enjoyed it a lot. First and foremost, always thank you to the fans. Without you guys, I wouldn't still be doing this. I look forward to meeting people. I mean, that's why I love making events. I love making it and getting to go out and, even if I'm eliminated from the event, taking pictures, signing stuff, meeting, like young kids that are idolizing me. And it's a really, humbling experience because I just play a video game.
Best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So thank you guys for all that. I actually, little anecdote, one of the teams we just played in RLCS, two of them had their profile pictures on start as there was pictures they had taken with me at Fort Worth. That was their profile pictures on there. Yeah, that was
I would cry.
So yeah, thank you guys. Absolutely. Thank you for rooting for me through ups and downs, and for hopefully continuing to root for myself, Parth Creams, under Top Le is currently our team name. And hopefully we can continue to make you guys proud. As for where to find us, I don't know. I basically only use Twitter, and these days I hardly use that. at rl_comm, I think. So you guys can find me there. But yeah, thanks once again. And
No,
thank you,
and
Will,
thank
for having
you.
me. Yeah.
Of course. And guys, thank you for watching. I think this is Who Is 35. I always do this wrong. I think this is Who Is episode 35, and this is day 26 in a row of posting a full-length YouTube video every single day. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you next time. And again, thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.